Hi family, welcome back to Simple Taste by Stephanie. Today we're going to be making a Salisbury steak. Now, I've already told you previously that I don't personally eat red meat. There's other people in my family that love to enjoy it, but today I'm going to be making the Salisbury steak with ground turkey. You are welcome to swap your meat out with ground beef and follow the rest of the recipe. Okay, so I have about a pound of ground turkey. Obviously, if you're making a much larger portion, you can add a couple pounds of ground turkey if you like, but I'm just gonna do one because we operate like a smorgasbord around here sometimes. So the other part of my family wants tacos. So, but that's a recipe for another day. We're gonna do the Salisbury steak. Okay, so we've got a pound of ground turkey. I am going to, now I have Campbell's French onion soup. Okay, I am gonna take a third of a cup. And I am going to pour a third of that right into my ground turkey or in your ground round if you choose. All right. I am going to pour the rest of this French onion soup in this measuring cup. You can put it in a mixing bowl, a cereal bowl, wherever you choose. Okay. I'm just going to set that to the side for now because we're going to actually do something more with that sauce. But let's add some salt, some seasoning here. Some pepper. I'm gonna add egg. And we're gonna add about a half a cup of seasoned breadcrumbs. I'm going to take my mixing spoon and I'm going to start mixing those ingredients in. I had a bit of a plate here. I'm going to have to grab a plate, guys, because once I finish with this mixing, I'm actually going to make patties, and I want to be able to place my patties on some type of clean apparatus before we get to the pot. Let's just use this plate here. All right, so you can choose whatever size of patty you like. I actually don't form a round patty. I try to do like a oblong type shape. And I'm gonna do as many of those as I can out of this pound of meat. So I'm just gonna, the patties. If you want yours larger, you certainly can do that. I'm just going to wash my hands quick. Next, we're going to start to cook our meat. I'm going to use a olive oil. Just going to use about a tablespoon. as that pot gets a little warm, we're gonna start dropping the meat in. And you can use a skillet. I love to use this pot. Less mess for me. And when I make my sauce, I'm gonna use the same pot. So I just love to have depth of a pot when I'm cooking. While that pan goes ahead and heats up, let's go to the next part of dealing with our sauce. Okay, so we have the rest of that French onion soup here. We actually are going to add a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. And you know I don't measure, so I'm just gonna shake. I'm actually gonna add about a 1/4 cup of ketchup. Oh no. And I actually have ground mustard. This is a must-have for this dish. I always find it very flavorful. I have tried to skip this step before and it didn't work out so much. So I recommend you grab yourself some. There's a couple other recipes and dishes that also will include ground mustard. It's always good to have. So I'm going to use just a teaspoon, okay? I'm gonna use my teaspoon to go ahead and mix this because it looks like I didn't have a spoon ready. All right, so I'm just pressing that so it's not so many lumps. It will break up. And then I'm also gonna add a tablespoon of flour in this as well. Because again, I'm using this as my gravy. So we're gonna need that flour to help set the sauce, all right? So when you dump that in, it's gonna get a little lumpier, but once we get it in the heat, the sauce won't be as lumpy. All right, let's get back to our meat here. Check on that. Now we do want our meat to cook thoroughly. I do like a little sear on both sides. So I am gonna leave that in there for a minute to make sure we have a nice browning. Okay. And again, I don't like to use a whole lot of oil because it's not healthy. I am using olive oil, but we don't need to use a lot of that. A lot of meats has its own natural oils in it. Ground turkey doesn't have as much oil, but if you're using ground beef, you will see that it would generate its own grease. So I would very much encourage you not to use any added oil. Start turning these a bit. I'm going to finish up this meat because it is going to take a few moments, and I do have another few to put in, and we'll check back when we're ready to add that gravy. So now we've got all of the meat cooked, and we're now going to just take our sauce that we prepared, and we're just going to pour our sauce right on over our meat. Okay, look at that. Look at the French onion from the soup and everything just poured in. So remember, we added a bit of flour to our sauce. So with the heat, it's going to thicken a bit. If you don't like as much thickness, add a little water to make it, you know, break up a bit. But we do have it on a slow heat, and we're just gonna let that thicken up just a little. I like for my gravy to be pretty thick, and you are welcome to enjoy this with mashed potatoes or rice, whatever you choose. And of course, don't forget to add that vegetable, a nice vegetable to it as well. Some of my friends also like to enjoy mushrooms in their Salisbury steak. We're not mushroom fans, but keep in mind, you feel free to add whatever fixings to this dish you like. Alter it, make it your very own recipe. And I hope you enjoyed this today. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for joining me.